All right, the Utah Jazz lose in a fun one to the Phoenix Suns. I'm so sick I can barely talk, but I had to get a video up. It's the first live stream since the hack, and I had to do one. But guys, this may not be long because I kind of can't talk. But anyways, we're going to do it anyway. Let's just talk shortly about the Suns. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are a great duo, and if I forgot who didn't play for them. Their third star. My brain is foggy. But when Bradley Beal, when he comes back and if he plays well for them, they become quite an offensive threat. And they do appear to be a team that could be very good in the playoffs because they have so many players that when the offense breaks down, they can score a bucket. Kevin Durant being the premier player at that. He is so incredible. And then Devin Booker being kind of the Robin to Kevin Durant's Batman. That is quite the scoring duo come playoff time. And it does seem like they have enough role players that maybe they can be good. We'll see. That's all I got for the Suns because I don't got a lot in me today. All right, so Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz, they were very, very solid. Especially, like both these teams, it was like 39-38 after the first quarter. Both teams were absolutely shooting fire out of their hands in this one. Lauri Markkanen was 4 for 7 from the three-point line, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. It's pretty standard Lauri Markkanen. Really great shooting night for him. You wouldn't expect any less from someone that the Jazz are paying that much money to. So good job by Lauri Markkanen. The story of the season for the Utah Jazz has got to be John Collins. John Collins is having a 50-40-90 season, guys. And outside of Ty Jerome, who is a bench player for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who's having somewhat of a surprise season for them, John Collins is literally like the only 50-40-90 guy in the NBA right now. It's insane. Of all of the legit players out there, he's the only one. And he's doing it at an insane rate. And tonight was no different. 66% from the field, 4 for 6 from 3. Incredible. Although this 2 for 4 from the free throw line is not going to help his 90 percentile thing. Let's hope he can keep that up. But look at this. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 22 points. We got to start giving credit to Will Hardy and how good he is. This team looked so ready, so prepared, and so good tonight. It's just the defense. And they have some planted players on this team that are keeping them from winning. And that's exactly what the Jazz need to do because they stay in the top 3. They are getting incredible production from their best players. And then they are getting the loss because they're trying to develop other ones. But anyways, we got to give a shout out to John Collins, who's having the best season of his career. And at this point, you wouldn't be surprised if a team legitimately made an offer for him, or maybe Utah just decides that they just want to keep him. That might be what they want to do. So we'll see. Walker Kessler, the story of this one in some ways was that he makes the first 2 shots of the game for the Jazz, but what made those shots so impressive, 2 corner threes. He was 2 for 2. He is now the best three-point shooter in the NBA. I'm sure that will keep up. But in all honesty, if he can hit that corner 3, it changes what he can do. So, nice to see. And Walker Kessler is taking his game to another level. He is playing with confidence and strength and honor, and he's playing well. And tonight it was no different. 17 points, only 5 rebounds because everyone was making everything they shot. But 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block shot. He was awesome tonight. And so, if a team out there wants to trade for Walker Kessler, they're going to have to give really nice picks for him. If not, Utah can just keep him and have him be a cornerstone of the future because he's a very nice player. At worst, Walker Kessler is a starting caliber center for his entire career. If he can hit corner threes and things like that, he becomes very, very valuable in what he can do. Why? Because it adds versatility to the offense. If you can play a 5-out offense, your offensive efficiency goes up through the roof. So if Walker Kessler consistently hits that corner 3, that's a big deal. All right, Collins Sexton was not very good tonight, and in a lot of ways, probably the reason they did not win this game, just because every other starter on the Jazz played extremely well. But I think the Jazz need to trade Colin Sexton as soon as they can. They need to find a way to improve this team in the offseason. And you just look at what this team is doing with these numbers and what Will Hardy has them doing. If you upgrade Colin Sexton to Cooper Flagg, or if you get Devin Harper, are you cereal? Are you cereal, my man? Are you Cinnamon Toast Crunch? If you add Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper to this team, it's going to be bonkers. Colin Sexton is a nice player who can score at a nice, efficient clip, but he's more likely to be effective on a team as a sixth man that's competing for the championship. I would not be surprised if someone gets him this trade deadline, which is coming up, by the way. Keonte George, everyone who said bad things, they don't seem to be saying bad things anymore. Keonte George is the truth, and he's playing well. He is the key to the Jazz future. Tonight, 6 for 13, 46%, 42% from three. He had 9 assists. How's that for not being a point guard, huh? 9 assists, 3 turnovers. That's a pretty good 9. If you're playing Marvel Rivals and you have a 9 kill to 3 death ratio, you're doing pretty good. And that's what Keonte George is doing in this one. So shout out to Keonte George, who's getting much, much better. Keonte George also is legitimately 6'4". It was something I was watching today because he's playing against, and he had really nice defensive possessions tonight against Devin Booker. And I know Devin Booker scored a lot, but there were multiple plays he played. And one of the things I noticed is just how big he looks next to Devin Booker. They look the same size. And Devin Booker's legit 6'4", 6'5", and same with Keonte George. So that's also nice to see. So the future of this Jazz team, the shortest player on the front starting lineup is going to be 6'4". And the question now we have to ask, with how well this team is playing, and by the way, 40% of their wins have come without Lauri Markkanen. What happens when Taylor Hendricks comes back and you get his defensive versatility? You have the point guard play from Keonte George. If the Jazz get Dylan Harper and they get his playmaking as well, do you have to have the Lauri Markkanen conversation and what you can get with him? Because you might be able to get a better piece in the draft with his picks that you might be able to get, or use those picks for currency to get another player that actually fits the needs of the team. Because I personally believe in Taylor Hendricks and what he can do for this team. He just needs to get healthy. We'll see how long that takes, but I'm very excited. Or the Jazz can just keep Lauri Markkanen because he can play with anyone. It's what makes him so incredibly valuable. More than likely, John Collins might not be on this team long term, but the fact that he might be getting trade offers is crazy. That John Collins position will be filled by Taylor Hendricks next year, and then next year you upgrade the Colin Sexton position, and that becomes either Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, or Yegor Demon, or whoever, or who was the other, VJ Edgecombe, or perhaps Ace Bailey. Can you imagine upgrading Colin Sexton into Ace Bailey, and John Collins turns into a more versatile defender in Taylor Hendricks? And then we're not even talking about the pick that Utah's going to get from the Minnesota Timberwolves. That could be anybody. It could be anyone. It's icing on the cake, baby. And that's some buttercream, cream cheese mixture hybrid frosting. It ain't from the store, it's from the bakery, and it's the good stuff. It cures all that ails you. I need some buttercream right now for my voice that is gone. All right, finally, let's talk about some of the bench players. The bench is what lost this one for the Jazz, but that's what the Jazz wanted to have happen. It is the thing they need to do. And Bryce Sensabaugh tonight, I tell you what, man, that guy is an absolute sniper. We're talking Marvel Rivals. We're talking Hawkeye. And that might be the name we need to give Bryce Sensabaugh, because when he gets that ball and he locks his feet down, straightens that elbow towards the basket, and extends that arm, that ball is going through the net. No question. Bryce Sensabaugh is the Hawkeye of this team, absolutely shooting it. And, you know, I know the Jazz are probably trying to develop him, and he can do a few other things where he can score in the lane and things like that, like he did at Ohio State. But if that's not his game, That's okay, because one thing we know he can do is he can absolutely shoot the lights out. And if you can put a player like Sensabaugh on the floor and you know that he is going to knock it down when you get him the ball, there is so much value to that. So Bryce Sensabaugh is turning into a player for them. Would not be surprised if he gets more and more minutes. Same with Johnny Juzang. When he gets it, he knocks it down. But I kind of feel a little more confident in Bryce Sensabaugh's defense than I do in Johnny Juzang. And according to he played the same amount of minutes as Johnny Juzang, but scored 3 times as many points. 3 for 4 from 3 is nothing to scoff at. Finally, Jordan Clarkson plays 30 minutes for them. He was the highest scoring player on the team. That's because he took the same most shots, same as Keyonte George. He had a nice night, actually, offensively. Utah was absolutely flamethrowers in the first half. It was crazy. Oh, I didn't even bring up the video, the stats screen. I'm sorry. Well, it's too late now. Jordan Clarkson, 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3. He was lights out. Came back from injury looking pretty good. 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He was really nice. Utah just, you know what? Utah has so many vets. They got to play these young guys. But Jordan Clarkson is going to play when he's healthy. And when he has nights like tonight, it's pretty nice. We'll see if he can keep it up, but I guess he has plantar fasciitis. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive that too long. It was nice to see Isaiah Collier get on the floor after his G League assignment. He goes 1 for 1. It was a nice pass from John Collins in transition to Collier, who put it up, but his shooting's got to get better, and that's going to be the thing he's going to have to work on this offseason. If he can figure it out and become at least an average NBA shooter, he becomes really, really nice. But for now, he can't shoot. It's going to keep his numbers down. Filipowski had almost a perfect night. Look at that, 2 for 2 from the field. Perfect. He hit that corner 3, perfect from 3, and then 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Filipowski's really good. Filipowski's really good, and he's going to start earning minutes, and they're going to have to figure out how to get him on the floor. That's why these things with John Collins and Lauri Markkanen, I mean, holy cow, dude. The Jazz have a wealth of riches right now, and next year it's only going to get better. The Jazz are going to be like in Mount Doom and Smog on their pile of gold in picks and players, and all of a sudden they're going to start rising and rising and rising. In the rankings, and you can bet we're going to be there watching it, and it's going to be incredible. But anyways, guys, and Johnny Juzang played. He was 1 for 3 from 3, but not a lot else. Not a lot of great minutes from him. But, guys, ain't no hacker going to stop this channel. Ain't no cold or flu going to stop this channel. We're going to keep going. I'll be back. I was not able to do the playback tonight. Sven and Clint were there. If you want to watch the games live with us and with me, you can go to playback.com/SLC, playback.tv, and then it's SLC Dunk. So /SLC Dunk, I believe. You can watch the games live with us, and I give VIP to the people who go, and it's great. Actually, I am going to lower this because we are going to look at the mock here. So this was a nice loss for the Jazz for multiple reasons. One, it just keeps their position in the lottery, which they need to keep. Utah needs to be in this top 3 to get that 52%, that sweet, sweet, sweet ping pong balls. If they can get there and get top 3 and get that top pick, that's going to be absolutely the juice, baby. But 14% chance at number 1, 52% chance at top 4, and at worst, Utah probably falls if they get jumped by something crazy to the 4, 5, or 6 range. So being at 3 is fine. I think Utah can still overtake New Orleans. They just got to keep losing, baby. And maybe New Orleans picks up a few wins. I know New Orleans last night almost won their game. So annoying. They almost won. And Utah can't screw around by getting wins against good teams because they're going to be playing teams like Washington and so forth here pretty soon. They're going to have to lose those games. And that's why they got to trade Colin Sexton ASAP. But, sorry guys, I got this terrible cold, man. And it just took my voice away from me. It's terrible. Anyways, on top of Utah holding top 3 positioning, this loss to Phoenix helps out with the Minnesota pick because, look, they are now tied at 13 and 11. We need Phoenix to keep winning, so it's nice that Kevin Durant is back. We can all be fans of Kevin Durant now. KD is fun to watch, and now we have a reason to root for him because if the Phoenix Suns can overtake Minnesota, it helps the Utah Jazz pick get better and better. The other thing Utah needs, because look here, This is the only Western Conference team that's keeping, these three teams are the three teams keeping Minnesota from giving the Jazz a lottery pick and more ping pong balls for that top pick. The best thing in the world would be Minnesota giving Utah a top 4 pick along with their own. Could you imagine? We would have to make a national holiday. We would absolutely have to have a parade and throw it, and it would be a giant ping pong ball. I'll walk around with my bald head and paint it white, and I'll be the ping pong ball mascot. That's what we could do. But anyways, we need one of these 3 Pacific teams to get off the beach and get on a basketball court and win some games. Come on. What's going on, Clippers? Kawhi Leonard is apparently coming back soon, which is great news for Jazz fans because the Jazz need the Clippers to overtake Minnesota. And yeah, those are the rumors. Kawhi Leonard is probably coming back relatively soon, and he's got to be more than healthy. And if they can at least get enough wins, I don't care what they do in the playoffs. I don't care at all. But if they can overtake the Minnesota Timberwolves by the end of the season record-wise, then that's massive for Utah, and that can put the Minnesota Timberwolves down here. And how nice would that be to have the Clippers facing the Timberwolves in a play-in game with Kawhi Leonard fully healthy, and he's already missed a third of the season, maybe half. Well, I don't know. Whatever we're at. I think we're a third of the way through or something like that. What is it? 14 and 12, 26. So we're like a fourth or getting close to a third of the way through. So anyways, this is big for the Jazz. Come on, Kawhi Leonard. Bring back the claw. The claw. The claw reminds me of Toy Story. The claw. We worship the claw. Come back, claw. I can't speak at all. I don't know if you guys can even hear me. But anyways, guys, this is exciting stuff. This is very good for Utah. This was a perfect night because you saw incredible development. Keyonte George is showing that he is absolutely a core piece of the future. Lauri Markkanen is absolutely a player any team would be happy to have. And Utah is developing everyone else. Bryce Sensabaugh's knocking down threes. We have John Collins having the season of his career. Walker Kessler has his mojo back. It's really nice. And so Utah's going to add Taylor Hendricks and then 3 picks next year in a loaded draft. And if Utah can get that, I don't know, if we can have some sort of good thing happen to us someday, somehow, and have that Minnesota pick jump, that would be the best of all scenarios. That's the one I would love the most. I would love it the most. Could you imagine? All right, so let's see what would happen if the lottery was today. I'm clicking on the mock. If the lottery was today, I got to bring up the music. I'm sick. I'm tired. But I'm not going to stop. This has got to keep going. There was no way I was going to miss another one of these. There was no way. There was no way. So, here we go. If the Utah Jazz were in the lottery today in this spot, here's what would happen if it was today. Here we go. Utah gets jumped and falls to 6. No. That sucks so much. No. That puts Utah at 6, and we get Kasparas Jakusionis. I actually have to watch his film because there's a lot of people that are losing their minds and saying he's unbelievable. So Utah would get the 6'6", incredible guy. In fact, let's copy and paste. How do we even... Let's go to his face. Or let's go to his name. And let's just search here. Let's just search. That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like. That's the new player for the Utah Jazz. Dang it, he looks like he's 12. But that's okay. He's apparently very good. Let's watch some film on him. We will. He's going to be great. And then Utah also gets in this draft... Let's see. So they get the Minnesota pick, which is JT Toppin, 6'9", power forward out of Texas. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Is he related to Obi Toppin? I don't know. Maybe. All right, guys, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Thank you so much, All-Stars, for sticking with me, man. It's been a rough rough December for me so far, but I appreciate you guys so much. Let's give a shout out to Ryan Edward Perry, the legend, Baby Elliot Matson, see ya Alexa later, Christian House Money to Haas, the Outlaw Jesse, James Nelson, Jordan the Go Besserell, Austin R. Grant Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, I had to get the video out. I can't hardly talk. If you're new here, I don't normally sound like this. You should listen to one of my other videos to know what I sound like. And if you're a regular, thank you so much, guys. Hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. I would appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, just join. And that would be great. And you can be a part of the chat and also just support the channel, which means a lot to me. All right, guys, like and subscribe. I will talk to you next time.